everyone, and welcome to my next video. Today I thought I will finally show you my holding cages. Now I call them my holding cages because they're really a temporary fixture. Well, the fixture itself is semi-permanent, but I use them in a not on a super regular basis, although at the moment I do have this spare pair of my Gouldians. Now these were in my aviary along with my other pair that just bred and had their 8 chicks. These guys are a fantastic pair. You know, ideally I would probably breed this pair, but for the fact that they showed so much aggression when their eggs were about to hatch, that I had to remove them, and I put them out here into the holding cages. Now some people call these quarantine cages or holding cages, spare cages, whatever you want to call them, but yeah, generally I just call these my holding cages. Now what I normally use these for is when my birds have young ones and they're all sort of coloured up and I want to remove them, I can move them out to these cages, and they're a lot easier to monitor, to catch. If people want to come and buy some birds, then it's much easier for me to catch them out of here, or for the you know, for the people to come have a look at them, than it is for them to do that in the aviary. So this is sort of a temporary housing. And what I also do sometimes is if I go to a bird sale, I might have a friend that's after some specific birds. They might say, look, can you buy them for me and house them just temporarily, and I put them in one of these cages, and then they can come and pick them up, you know, a few days later or a week later or something like that. So I'm going to sort of give you a bit of an idea of the setup that I'm using here. And first off, I just wanted to give you a bit of footage of the Gouldians that are in here. So yeah, this was a great pair, but unfortunately they showed so much aggression. They were the later breeders of the 2 pairs that I had. And the other pair already had their 8 young ones hatched. They were about probably 2 weeks in when these guys, well actually it was mostly the cockbird, became very territorial and was stopping the other pair from actually feeding their chicks. So I made a pretty quick decision to move them into here. Now they do have a nest box in here, which they are sort of using, I think, more to sleep in at night. I just wanted to give them an option, as they were breeding at the time when I moved them, to have a nest. Now I'm not sure, the cockbird has been going in there. I'm not sure if there's any eggs. I don't really want to disturb them at the moment, but yeah, the lid here I can just lift up and have a look inside, and that's just got a little entrance hole on the other side. Yeah, so this is just the top bay, and this is where I'm housing the birds at the moment. Now as you can see, there is 3 bays, one in the middle here and one down at the bottom. Now I'm not utilising those 2 at the moment, just the top one, so let's have a bit of a look here. So as you can see, there's no seed in here or perches. Now what I do, I utilise the same perching system that I do in my larger aviary, which are these little perch holders here. And you see one's at the back where I've cut the tabs off, and I've actually just sort of glued those in. Let's see if we can get in there. There you go. So this unit actually came with sort of little holders for dowel perches, but I don't use dowel perches. I'm a firm believer in using natural perches. So these perch holders, which I think I've shown you before, really do the trick. It's just super easy to cut a perch to length, put it in, and pull it out when you want to replace them. So yeah, this is what one of the empty ones look like. So you can see here, this is the sort of little door you can open up and put a nest box into. I don't really utilise these for breeding, as I don't think they're quite large enough, but they are something you could breed finches in. I think they're probably just excuse me, just the right size to get away with if you're really stuck for room. But I'm a firm believer also in giving the birds as much space as you can. I really like the idea of having them out in the aviary where birds just love it. Out there, you know, my aviary's over 3 meters long. They have a lot of flying space, and and of course I have the suspended area to go out in the rain and the weather. But yeah, So these little, but these do serve me well. When the 8 chicks I have out in the aviary are coloured up, I'm going to move them in here, and what I'll probably do is put sort of cockbirds in the middle here and hens in the bottom, and that way when people come to buy birds off me, they can have a look and choose them. So these come with a divider in the middle, so obviously the top one I'm not utilising the divider because I want to give the birds their whole space here, but as you can see the middle just pulls out and it becomes one whole full-size cage. When it comes to cleaning and you want to keep the birds down one end, you can just put this in and they're down that end. You can easily clean this end and then vice versa. Or if you had to, you could actually hold some birds here and some birds here, but that is a very small space. I would really only do that in a case of emergencies. I use these seed hoppers here, which are fantastic. They're from a local guy here in Victoria that I buy these off. They've just got a tray to catch the empty seed husks or spilt seed. And you can easily fill those up just with the lid system here, and the seed comes down. Holds quite a bit of seed in the bottom here, which is great. So just every day I come and sort of scoop out the seed husks and give them some fresh seed. I also use these stainless steel clips for the cuttlefish, which I see at the front of that cage there. But you can see all these have the perch holders ready to go for when I do want to use this setup. They also have a wire floor. It's probably easier if I bring this one out now. So you have a wire floor here, which stops the birds obviously going down to this bottom layer. This is really easily cleaned, so you can pull this out and clean it. And then underneath is a tray. As you probably saw on the topmost cage there, I just use these newspapers here. So what I will do is I'll show you. It's as simple as this. Our local newspaper just comes in this form here. So I've just got a whole heap of stock there ready to go. So all I do is just basically pull apart I'll show you here. Pull apart the latest edition of very important news. I'll pull out another one here. So do this one-handed as usual. It's a little bit trickier. Excuse me for a moment. So yeah, just have the pages there ready to go. And this one here as well. And yeah, it's just an easy case of replacing these newspapers sort of once a week. I generally do that. So let's just do this here. Very hard to do with one hand. So I'm probably giving you vertigo doing this. But yeah, that's how easy it is. I just put in a layer of newspapers there, close it up, and I replace those probably every week. The newspaper's free, which is great. Yeah, so basically I have the bottom setups here ready to go for my young birds, and then I'm utilising this top base. So as you can see, that's how it looks when I have my seed in the hopper. It's been going for a little while now. It's just an easy case of coming in, and you can obviously there's pretty fresh seed there at the moment, but you can scoop that out, catch it in the tray. I utilise these sort of chicken feeder style water feeders for them. As you could see before, there's no problem drinking out of those, and they last much longer than is necessary. I give them some fresh water or use my vitamin supplements in those daily, so they get a nice bit of fresh water. I do have some bird baths that I occasionally put in, which allows the birds to have a bath if they want it. These guys haven't really utilised those as yet. Something that birds sort of tend to need to get used to, and when they were out in the aviary they were just using rain, of course. So yeah, I've just got my cuttlefish in the clip here, and at the moment I've got a bit of a tonic mix for them, and I'm using some sprouted seed, and I use a little I think we can zoom in there. So I've got my grit mix in the back as well, which they can utilise. So yeah, it's a really good setup. Really love these. They're very good quality. The only issue I had, that obviously one bit of wire had a very poor weld and it broke off one time, so all I've done is use some of my Avery wire and cut a small piece just to cover that hole. I was pretty disappointed by that, as the rest of the unit's very solid. But yeah, just one bar seemed to have a very bad weld on it, and it popped off. Besides that, I've been pretty happy. There were some gaps I've siliconed up to make sure that there's no drafts. And as I said earlier, I've got the surrounding what would you call it, protective layer around the Avery, so it has a roof on it. So I left a bit of a gap here so that any heat won't directly build up on the birds. I've got the sides covered up to stop any drafts. I've got the wire as well to let a bit of air through, and this end faces the southern side, so any colder drafts, the northern side, but this is where the air will be coming through this garage, so that's fully sealed up. But I did leave it clear so that the birds can get a bit of light. At the moment the sun's just past the point where it does come in, but as you can see the sunlight does come in, so they can get some direct sunlight, so I purposely put that on this side. So the sun comes in all of this side here, and they can get some good sun each day, which is very important. But yeah, that's pretty much it. So yeah, this is how I utilize my holding cages. So I may keep these guys. These guys were sort of my unfortunately my second breeding pair, but yeah, I'm not sure exactly what I'm going to be doing with these guys yet, whether I keep them in here sort of a bit longer term. Perhaps I can move them back into the Avery now that the birds aren't breeding. I'm not sure. I haven't really had a serious think about it yet, but I may also sell them off to someone else as well, and they can utilize them because they are great breeders. They did lay eggs as well and were ready to breed, but like I said, they're very aggressive. But I usually find those aggressive birds are the better breeders, but yeah, it is a hard one because you don't want really to give aggressive birds the chance to bully any other birds. So I think they'd probably be better in a much larger setup, like a colony setup or something. So if I do sell those off, of course I will let whoever's going to buy them know that they are a reasonably territorial pair. Well, the cockbird is anyway. Fantastic birds, but yeah, unfortunately birds don't always work out, and even small finches can be very aggressive. So that's something always to keep in mind. But there you go. So this is my sometimes you'll hear me refer to it as my quarantine cage or I usually call them just holding cages. So this is my holding cage setup. It served me very well. I can keep smaller parrots in these as well when it comes time to sell them or move birds. It is great to have a spare setup just in case something like this does happen when your birds show aggression. You need to separate them, and they're very safely housed in here. It's easy to clean. There's quite enough room for finches in here, and parrots for temporarily. I certainly wouldn't house parrots in here long term. Finches you can get away with, but yeah, so maybe some budgies would be the maximum size parrots. I think you could probably get away with a full bay working, but yeah, canaries, finches would be fine. And I actually bought this system online, this whole cage system online from a place in Sydney. Just got it shipped down. It was fairly easy to assemble. Like I said, it's reasonably good quality. I did have to do a few things, like I said, silicon up a few of the gaps. I was a bit disappointed with the bit of wire coming off, but besides that, they've been really good, and I've had them for quite some time. I actually had a system like this before, but I completely had hand built it all out of cage fronts and timber, and I really wanted to replace it with something a lot more solid, so that was why I ended up getting this system. And yeah, sort of customized it a little bit myself with the perch holders, and of course the seed feeders, and it works really well. But yeah, I just wanted to show you guys, as I often refer to this this area. I thought I'd give you a bit of a look at it. And at the end of the video here, I'll just put a little bit of extra footage of the birds enjoying this space. But yeah, I highly recommend getting something like this. This one is on wheels, if I didn't mention it already. So it can be moved, but I did want to build the protective structure around it. So yeah, so while it can be moved, it can't be moved very far. Not without moving the entire sort of protective system, which is just bolted into the wall. It can be removed if it ever came to that, quite easily. But yeah, it sort of is, I guess, semi-permanent now. And yeah, just use my doors and the plate that I put on this side. But yeah, thank you for watching this video. I hope that's given you a bit of an idea about yeah, what I used for my holding cages, quarantine cages. And in the future, like I said, I will have some birds in these bottom two. Just at the moment, I just have this yeah, this breeding pair, and I'll see if I won't disturb them too much here. There you go. So yeah, they are a beautiful pair. It's quite sad that I didn't get to breed them as well, but yeah, that's the way it goes. You know, the birds' health and safety is more important than my need to breed them. And yeah, I think they'll still get the chance to breed, but perhaps with somebody else. So yeah, thank you for watching, and I'll catch you in another video soon. Bye for now. Okay, so sorry guys, just a quick little update there. I didn't realise I managed to delete the first part of the video that I did. So that was where I was mentioning about how I use a system here to protect the front of the birds. I have an access door here that I use every day. So I just have a little latch here. So one side is a door, so I can easily come over to this side and do their seed and water and daily maintenance. And I can do that, of course, with all three. I do have a lock for it, but I usually just use this latch system unless I'm going away on holiday or something. And then on the left-hand side, I just have like a Perspex cover, which I've built. Let's see if I can get you a bit better view of that. So the left side I don't really have to go into on a daily basis, so I don't have a door, I just have a Perspex cover that I put on, and I bolt on with these little bolts here, wing nuts. And that holds it all together and protects the birds from any drafts and any predators. Just like my other aviary, this garage, predatory birds and cats can get in here and harass the birds. So yeah, the whole unit is designed just to yeah, protect them and keep them safe. So yeah, nothing can get in and get to them. And they're, yeah, very happy in here. So this is their best alternative. When they're not in the aviary, they can come in here and enjoy this space in safety. But there you go. So I'm sorry I took that out of the start of the video. So this is just a quick little update. And yeah, keep watching for a little bit of footage of the birds enjoying this space. But thanks for watching, and I'll see you in another video soon.